So imagine it is 2008. You grab in your pocket, you get your iPhone 1, you open a browser, and you open a website. Can you remember how websites looked 2008 on a mobile phone? Raise your hand if you can remember. Okay. So it looked like this, right? So we had a desktop version of a page on a mobile screen, and it was awful to navigate. So it was so small you can't really read it. So you have to zoom in, you have to pan, and this was not a great success, the mobile web at this point. But if you go 3 years above, so 2011, this looked quite different. So 2010, between those screenshots, something happened. And I guess all of you in the room know what happened, right? So what was invented through these times? Anyone? Yeah, responsive web design, right? And behind me, you see the original web page. So this was an article from Ethan Marcotte when he described responsive web design. And what he did was he was not inventing something new. So what he was doing, he was using 3 web technologies which were already around, and he combined them in a smart way and taught all of us how to use it. So with responsive web design, we were enabled to adapt the design to all different viewport sizes. And that's what needed, because every week there come a new Android device, and yeah, so this fixes. But this was nearly 9 years ago. And if you look on our web pages we build today, they nearly look the same. So this could be also from today. But it was a great step forward, so the user experience was much better than before. But there's still other issues with the user experience on mobile pages. So we have the connection speed, right? So it's probably not nice if you're, imagine you're on a train and it's like a 2G connection, and probably you don't want to send clients an image which, a higher resolution image. Or the other thing are devices. So we have really premium devices, but we also have low budget devices. So the user experience would be quite different. So we already talked about the viewport. So this layer we really do well. So on all of our projects, we use responsive web design techniques, and we are good at it, so we master this. So we don't have to talk a lot about this. But can you think of any other factors which are influencing the user experience? So this is a question for you. Connection, we good one. Sorry? Yeah, more. So more high level. Performance. Browsers. What else? What you're using to the device? Yeah. Okay, so let's go through by them layer by layer. So we have the connection. So for me, the connection is probably as important as the layout, because if you're sitting, imagine yourself in this train to the summit, you're getting your mobile phone, you have a Wi-Fi, but it's really a 2G connection. So wouldn't it be useful to serve another experience to people who are in this condition? And we have devices. So if you grab in your pocket and get your device, I guess you have a premium device, right? So premium device means next Apple keynote, they promise you double as fast, double as cool. And but on the other hand, that's not really good, working good with the microphone. You have these low budget devices. And the low budget devices, they become cheaper every year. And this is really important for people who are not in the internet yet, because they come to the internet because they can afford this device. So therefore it becomes cheaper. But there's a huge gap between these devices, and we call it device gap. And that's not easy to deliver really a good experience for both devices. And this is what we will face the next years. And also the environment. So you just have to leave the room, try to read something outside in the bright sunlight. I would suggest it's harder to read than inside. Or also, are you alone or are you in a public, for example, in the office? Probably if you try YouTube video in the office and then you have the sound, all the colleagues watching you, it's probably not a nice experience for you. And last but not least, the users. So if you watch my 80-year-old uncle using the internet, you would be surprised how this can be different from how you use it. And there are also 15% of all people on the world have like a permanent disability. So they need our pages to be accessible, otherwise they cannot really use it. Okay, so let's see. When we started with responsive web design, we had just this viewport level. So the designers who are often not from our company, they decided how the user experience more or less is. So we just took their design and we developed it. But now you see all this complexity. And this means we can't rely only on designers, so we need the knowledge from all of us to be able to deliver a personalized user experience here. Okay, but we see, so before we have to change how we do projects if we want to deliver this personalized user experiences. So before you start specifying a website, before you start designing a website, before you start developing a website, and before you write your test plan, what we really have to do is to answer two really important questions. And what are these questions? The first one is what? So what we really want to build. And often we skip this question. So this is probably a question the stakeholders have to answer, the product owner, our UX consultants, and who else? The transformation manager, they call now. Okay, so we built a set of cards, we call it strategy cards, and we have a workshop to really define what we want to build. And the outcome would be, for example, a user journey map or an impact map. But this is only one question we have to answer. The other question is to answer how we want to build it. So what is the quality we want to achieve? So what is this user experience should look like when we build it? And this is, another workshop, another set of cards, and we call it the usability cards. Let me show you what we say about this Netcentric Experience Card framework is about. So we have the set of cards, so these are real cards, 20 cards. These are the center of the framework, but we also need a pitch slide. So we have to sell it our customers, we have to explain our customers what is the difference between responsive web design and the personalized user experience we build. And we need a workshop. So the workshop has it's important because we want to put it in the right time. We want to bring together the right people and ask the right questions. And so this is where we answer the question together. But we can define a lot, so if you're not able to measure what we actually are doing, then probably we don't achieve what we want to do. And there comes in that we need some tools to measure. So this is also something we have to provide. So we want to add the QR code on each of the cards, and we want to have a website for each of the cards. And on the website, we want to define for each role in the project what you should think about, what is your accountability in the step of the project. And so to make this happen, we have to use a lot of new web APIs which came along the last 2 years. So it's hard work to read all the specs, and I did it. So I try to do videos so that everyone else has an easier job to understand what it's around. And last but not least, we try to build a demo app so you can test it, so that you really get a feeling what it feels like, and you also have the code so you can use it, reuse it in projects. Okay, let's dive into the card. So cards have like two sides. We have the front we have like the topic, and we have a nice image. And if we flip this card, you see a question. So this is a start in the introduction and the discussion, so that all of the team can discuss this topic. And we also have bullet lists, so you can get some ideas what you should discuss about. And each card is connected to one of the usability layers we talked about before. So this one is connected to the connection. We have another one, so this is connected to the devices. So this was the example I had with hardware. So you have premium devices and low budget devices. This one is connected to the environment. And we have another one which is connected to the user layer. So this is one of our accessibility cards. So this was just 4 cards out of 20. And I don't show you all of them because I don't have the time. But it's a right moment to introduce the team. So it's not me doing this alone. So we have Alina, probably you can stand up. We have Michaela, Miriam. So they are doing a great job designing all the cards. So they're really beautiful. And I guess we have 2 more I have to mention. That's Claire back there, stand also up. I guess Ines is not in the room. She has another talk. So we spent some evenings and I got a lot of feedback, so we iterate on the cards. And yeah, what we have now is the work of all of us. Okay, so we answered 2 questions. We know what we want to build and we know how to build it. And the next thing is to set up a tooling. So this is really important because at the moment what we are not doing often enough in our project is really to measure all the factors which are crucial for user experience. So we don't really know what the user experience of our project is. And yeah, only when everything is set up in a correct way, in the right way, then we should start iterating on our sprints. So at the moment, in too many projects, we are jumping in already on the sprints without really defining well what we want to do and how we want to do it. Okay, I'm pretty excited about this Netcentric Experience Cards, and I think it's a triple win situation. So first of all, it's cool for the users because yeah, they have a much better experience. If you remember my first slide, if you saw the difference between responsive design and non-responsive design, I guess we can go the next step, which is probably the same Scala, so we can build a much more personalized user experience. And the cool thing is, if the user experience is better, then the people are more engaged, and also the conversions go up. And this makes probably our clients very happy, because they earn more money. And last but not least, it's also cool for us. Because I remember back when I was a front-end developer, and often I was in the project, I had to do designs, but the design agency was already gone. The budget was a different department, and I had some good ideas how to improve things. But it was not really possible because everything was already set, and all my knowledge I couldn't share, so it was useless. And with these cards, I guess it's cool because all of you can really be part of the project in an early stage, and you can bring all your knowledge and help building the solution. So you don't have to implement what others think is a solution, you are part of the solution. And I guess this is the biggest change with the cards. Okay, I guess it's also a great marketing tool. So how cool would it be to be the next responsive web design? And yeah, my name is Fabian. I'm a UX consultant, and as you see, I guess I have a lot of work ahead of me, and therefore I need help. So we plan to create a holacracy circle, and I want to invite all people from all pathway, because I think one transformation we should do that we work not in pathways, but we should all work together to get this personalized user experience at the end. So if you're half as passionate as me about it, and you don't have already 20 roles, and you have some time, and you want to participate, then find me on the summit, talk to me, and probably we work together on it. I can also understand a lot of people I know, they have already a lot of roles, they don't have time for it, but there's another thing you can do. You can join this channel. I will post all the cards, so you get all the 20 cards you can see, and yeah, give us feedback. So I guess this probably can change how we do projects a little bit and bring us to the next, transform us to the next level. And I would like to have feedback from all of you. So check the cards, say if you think they're missing some, so they're not printed yet, so we can make changes. Sorry. And yeah, so that's it. I stopped a little bit earlier so you can enjoy the sun, and I hope you like it. Thank you.